lordy, it takes so long to get loaded up after you start a Twitter space if your phone acts funny. Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you? Hello. So I thought I'd stop in and say hi. I've been doing some work on the LawTube drama, but I noticed that no matter what opinion that I hold, everyone gets a little angry, so it's one of those topics. So, you know, it's very, very interesting to see how things are breaking down. So I've got a bunch of video from Nate the lawyer, Rakita Law, Legal Bites. I guess Legal Bites made like an apology or an explanation video. So I don't know, maybe we'll look at that here this evening. And there's not much more to really update you on except one little thing. Yesterday night, I stopped into Discord and we were talking about things and stuff and things. And then, of course, the Grifties got brought up. And so it turned out that there's been another big, strange, thing happen with the Grifties. So I might as well throw that out there really quick. A few days ago, might have been 3 days ago, 4 days ago, the Grifties shifted massively. So there was around like 8 or 9 people who were underneath the person that was number 1. And those people all like started to shift upwards or some shit. And then the people at number 1 and around that area kind of shifted down, right? I'm going to explain it horribly, but here's what they told me that happened. This is what the opinion was. So again, the people that have been kind of watching it, for fun said that they believe that bots were used to manipulate the Grifties again. So, like a big wave of bots all at once, like whew. So then, of course, a few days go by, or a day goes by, day and a half, and it settles back out to exactly where it was, which was, of course, a certain lobstery individual being number 1 and Charlotte on the web being number 2. And I guess for a while, I was moving up in the groups for the Grifties. The thing is, though, I'm not a group. If I was going to be on the list, I should be on the list as a creator, which is really strange. But here's the deal. UniRock, like back in 2011, there was I didn't find this out until after I already started using the name. But there used to be an old rock concert called UniRock. I think it was in Spain or something. I don't know. You'd have to look it up. There's some concerts, recordings and stuff that are left over on the internet. So, I guess it kind of sounds dumb, but maybe that's it. Maybe that's the big reveal there, like that they thought that they looked up UniRock and thought it was something different. I don't know, but of course the conspiracy theories are rampant out there about how somehow I have secret influence in the Grifties to affect it in some way, which is just insane. They were trying to say that I was hacking the Grifties, but you can't hack the Grifties to move yourself from one column to the other. It's not how it really goes far to show you how educated some of these conspiracy theorists are, right? Yeah, there's magic computer code that you can inject into the Grifties to change you from a creator into a group. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, a little bit weird. Really, though, another update is there's some video from Molly Golightly, and I didn't watch it because I didn't want to. I've been watching a lot of the LawTube stuff and kind of tracking the LawTube stuff for a video. But of course, I've got the video, and I thought it might be fun to watch it on stream or something because she's having oh my God, an uber meltdown. But let me get to the stuff that I think is really worth talking about here now that I've stalled for a little bit. So the thing that I think is the biggest update to give you guys about anything relevant is the way that Leslie Bass, MGL, and a few people have been, and Katie Joy. Oh shit, you know what I'll do? Let me restart this. Yeah, because I want to put Katie in the title. Okay, be right back. All right, much better. Much better. My bad. I should have put this as the title to begin with. But at least I updated the damn Grifties thing on the last little tiny stream, so I don't have to bring it up here because I'm just bored with that shit. So okay, Leslie Bass ElleBee false strikes me with a privacy strike, MGL and WOACB. Let's start with the false strike thing. So in my last video, I think it was, or a video before the last video, might have been the last video, I had a clip of ElleBee or Leslie Bass, MGL, and Justin talking. One of the clips had them all talking. And so she filed a privacy strike against me for who knows why, because it's just false. I made sure to use their YouTube channel names. So Leslie, of course, changed her channel name from Leslie Bass to ElleBee, ELLEBEE. And but what Leslie doesn't realize is that she called herself Leslie Bass for a long time on the platform. And the reason that I say Leslie Bass is because many people out there don't know who ElleBee is due to her changing her channel name. They don't realize that ElleBee is Leslie Bass because of how long she went by Leslie Bass. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Sorry, my YouTube started playing on my TV. And there's another major reason. It's because and to prove what I'm saying about her channel being called Leslie Bass, if you look at the top of her channel link, it is youtube.com/c/Leslie Bass. And of course, I responded to Team YouTube. Well, not the Team YouTube on Twitter. This is the actual Team YouTube. And I let them know all of this and that it was a false privacy strike. But of course, Leslie didn't file it because I called her Leslie Bass. There are a lot of people that still call her Leslie Bass, and she never cares. There are people who in her comments section that do it, and all over the internet that do it, and she never files anything or gets angry about it. So, of course, it's just ridiculous, and, you know, it just shows that she's having a breakdown over this whole thing. She's breaking down. She's nervous or upset or whatever, and worried, or God only knows. So to go into Katie, WOACB, Katie has been going on a non-stop assault against me that I just found out about a couple days ago. And I might have mentioned certain things about it in Twitter streams, but I'll probably address it tonight on YouTube, actually, because I think it'd be worth it. She's, from what I can tell, claiming that I clickbaited her name. These are the minor things. Clickbaited her name, clickbaited her things that she does, which is an absolute lie. Everything I've put out that has to do with her, I boringly made sure to explain every detail of what I was saying. Everything I said was absolutely on point and was backed up with proof, with evidence, with clips, with tweets. I guess she feels that her actions being discussed by a YouTuber is clickbait, regardless if it's true or not, which is just ridiculous and stupid. Or that she can't be talked about, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and wipe that away because, of course, she made the claim that I'm transphobic. Now, she said that I was transphobic. Of course, I know I talked about this in a different Twitter stream, but it was really quick and rushed. And this one's going to be too, but at least I get to, you know, espouse a little bit about it here, a little more about it. Anyway, though, so she was trying to say that I'm transphobic, which is not true. It's just an absolute lie. Katie, though, holds extreme views. She doesn't just hold the views that, like, if you look at her views and say her views are left-leaning, no, her views are extremely left-leaning. Like, she would be on the extreme left, the very far left. So people claim I myself am on the right or am conservative, or even sometimes say that I'm far right. But of course, that's absolute bullshit, because I'm not even political. Like, I don't even support the right. I don't support the left. I've criticized Donald Trump just as much as I've criticized other people. Even when he was president, people don't care, though. Like, none of the truth really matters. You know, everyone always called me left-leaning, right? But they didn't call me left-leaning because of my opinions. They called me left-leaning because I was exposing far-right conspiracy theories. And because of that, all of the far-right people said that I must be left-leaning in order to, quote-unquote, expose far-right. Nobody would expose these right-wing conspiracy theories if they were on the right. Nobody would do that unless they were on the left. UniRock is on the left. And you will find that out there. Like, it was a big kind of crazy thing, the amount of videos that were made about how I'm some left-wing guy coming in to ruin the chances of certain right-wing people getting elected and stuff because I'm, you know, debunking these conspiracy theories. But so it's just a big flippity-floppity. The minute that people need to say that I'm left-wing in order to be, you know, able to attack me, they will. It'll just, whatever suits their need, they'll grab at it whenever they need it. But Katie has, being far left and having far left ideology, there is a little bit of a effect that happens where, regardless if I support transgender people being transgender, that doesn't matter. Because, oh, by the way, if I was right-leaning, it's likely I wouldn't say that, or far right. I meant to say far right. I likely wouldn't say that. You look at people like Nick Fuentes, who I've been tracking for a long time to do a piece on anti-Semitism, and other, you know, right or far right figures. They will never state that they support transgender people. They'll never state that they support people being transgender. So I've already precluded myself, you know, from some accusations just by letting you know that I do support transgender people. But I also tell you how you, most of the time, can figure out what it is that I think about something, because I hold a belief set based on a principle or a philosophy, which is freedom. And you being able to make the decision to do and make your choices so that other people can decide if they support you or not, or whether they don't like you or they like you based on those. That's why I'm against censorship. I believe that when we censor people who have certain ideologies, we should censor people for the crimes, breaking the law, like attacking people, trying to hide the fact that they are attacking people and doing bad things to other people. All those things I think are valid reasons for censorship. That's not about expression. Those are call to actions, are targeting, right? So I think that you should be able to speak and express who you are so that other people, like if you have some racist ideology, I think you should be able to speak it on your social media, or whatever the ideology is, because then we can speak against it. We can debunk you. We can know that the only thing, but see, you go back a few years and you guys will know, if those of you that have followed my Periscopes and my Twitter feeds since I started will remember that when they first started to censor people, that, like, as far as they do now, I was heavily against it, speaking that we are just going to drive people who hold those types of opinions underground. They're going to hide the fact that they feel that way so that they can exist on social media platforms. They're going to make choices, and they're going to push for things, and they're going to go for things that will exclude, that will go against, but they're going to do it in the most, let's say, secretive and underground way so that they don't get banned. And that's exactly what's happened. You get this across the board, and it's bad because we then don't know who out there hates women, because if you go out and you start screaming about hating women, they're going to ban you. Like, you know, the one of the people so another thing I have to say about Katie thought that I had reported her to YouTube for doxing, and I was very clear who I reported. It was people that were actively doing it, people that were actively targeting people and doing those things in a malicious way, in a targeted harassment way. So people out there like Katie who are being sloppy or loose with people's private information, I didn't consider them for this report, because this report was to handle, you know, the worst of the worst, to get that out of the way so that we can have conversations about others. And so the 4 people that I did, everybody knows, was Lobster Man and Molly as the worst 2, and then Road Guy and that other girl that Lobster Man employed to sexually harass me as the other 2. And so Katie, thinking that I had reported her to YouTube for doxing, literally had a panic attack, went underneath my tweets to Team YouTube, just literally saying that I'm transphobic and all this stuff. Link the proof, please, next time you're going to do that. You notice that I spent weeks collecting, well, I spent months, but then putting everything I collected for months into reports, I spent weeks so that I could make it perfect to send to Team YouTube, Katie. So, you know, what you could do is put that much time into it also, if you're going to come around and try to play. What she did was reduced herself to the level of Claire Bear, hiding on a sock account, lying about things and just flipping out and acting crazy, just being a psychopath, trying to make claims as opposed to proving something. And making a claim is as easy as saying something. Proving something, while some people think they can do 30 minutes of Wikipedia or internet searches to be able to be an expert on a topic, to actually even start to do something correctly, it takes an immense amount of work, time, and you know, fact checking. Anyway, though, so she claims I'm transphobic. Again, not true. If she wants to debate me on trans issues or something, she's more than welcome to. I have several channels that will host me, like Modern Day Debate and other debate channels, if she'd like to do that. She also went around stating that, so she said that I was transphobic. She said that I used her name to clickbait without any logic, reason, or justification, of course, because if any content out there that talks about Katie is not clickbait, it's my content. My content is very much I covered the Toddy Westbrook lawsuit and then several personal experiences or interactions that I had with Katie. And so the content that I did absolutely is in depth and maintains to the topic. So there's no space for clickbait. And again, this is Katie misusing the word clickbait just so she can throw an accusation at me. See, she gets mad thinking that I'm, you know, reporting her. So remember when she got kicked from my Discord because of Doxing Creep Show, right? And her response was to attack me and go at me and lie about me and all this garbage, right? And say that it wasn't true without addressing the evidence or any of my content. When she got mad, when she gets mad, when she, not just in past tense, when she gets mad, when she got mad. And in the past, when me and her used to talk long, long, long ago, when she would get angry at me for any reason, this attitude comes out of her where it's, oh, I'm going to get mad at you? Okay, fine. I'm going to, you know, try to ruin your life. I'm going to try to cancel you. I'm going to try. Now, this is, by the way, this is a reason why so many people don't like Katie. It's a reason that I don't like Katie. I like her personality, but I don't like her due to her doing these things, right? So, I mean, what else do you say? If somebody out there, if you're a content creator and you're going to post things about your private life, which Katie either did or maybe still does, you'd have to look. And if you're a content creator who's going to get themselves involved in a lot of stuff, by the way, you don't have to. You literally can just upload content and not go live or post things on social media, or when you go live, you can just talk about things and not talk about current, like a certain topic, and not read the chat, respond to people, respond to current dramas and current events. But anyway, I don't want to get off topic. Let me just say my other piece about Katie. So the other thing that is just disgusting about Katie weaponizing trans issues to try to attack me is the fact that when me and Katie used to talk years ago, we had a friend called Kyle Curtis. Most of you guys know Kyle, right? And Kyle is gay, openly gay. He's not ashamed about talking about it or displaying it or whatever, right? So when me and Katie and Kyle would talk, because Kyle would bring up things about his life that had to do with being gay, and because Katie, being left-leaning, would constantly talk about, she would take things that Kyle said, and it would make her kind of go off on tangents about the things Kyle was talking about. Oh, by the way, any of you that know anything about these two people I'm talking about know that I just described their personalities to a T, by the way. So when Katie would do that, of course, I would also engage in the conversation. And a lot of times, due to Kyle bringing up gay issues and also bringing up trans issues and also bringing up political issues or social issues, and Katie taking them and going off on tangents in the left space or just in any space at all, I would respond and discuss and talk with them. And so Katie and Kyle both know that I, number one, support people being gay. Number two, support people being trans. The only thing that I criticize about any of those issues, and this is not because of those issues, it's not like I just hold an opinion about those issues when it comes to this next thing, okay? The thing that I criticize about any issue is it being applied to children. I think, now I'm not saying a child can't, as part of their discovery, think that they're gay or trans. In fact, I think that they can, and it's part of, like, you know, a kid growing up, depending on how they feel and how it goes and all this stuff. There's so many, like, there's a lot of different, you know, variables and such things that isn't, that whether it's my opinion or not, when you look at what the thing I criticize about children is people trying to interfere with a child and how they're going to develop and become themselves, and making choices that could permanently affect the kid. You don't allow a child to smoke cigarettes, and there's a reason why. You don't allow a child to drink alcohol or do drugs. There's a reason why. We don't allow children to drive cars until a certain age, and there's a reason why. So if you're going to go in and say that those things are true, then we also must have strict. And by the way, I'm not saying that you can't give a child certain medications, or you can't have a child be given hardcore treatment for gender dysphoria. I'm literally saying that they should be given hardcore treatment for gender dysphoria. My criticisms have been against things like Tavistock Clinic and these other clinics that did not give lots of treatment and instead just defaulted to a single treatment in a single outcome. But either way, I didn't even make those arguments. According to Katie, which is evidenced by what she said and shared, and according to the social media record, and according to my Twitter even, the thing that she's mad about is me retweeting things that she claims are transphobic. And I will state again, if I heart something, it typically means that I agree with it. It doesn't always, by the way. Sometimes I heart stuff just to make sure I can find it again, because it'll go under your likes. You know what I'm saying? And I used to have at the top of my Twitter, retweets are not endorsements. But of course I had to take that down so that I could fit the jokes that I make at the top of my Twitter. I think right now the top of my Twitter says, Mediker's Twitter is my only form of Twitter entertainment. And I've left that up there because it's true. When Mediker was on Twitter, it was my only form of entertainment on Twitter. And now that he's off Twitter, it's still true. Twitter is boring as fuck now that Medicre's off Twitter. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, it's just true. So anyway, my point is, Katie is a person who has sat and had long conversations with me and Kyle about trans, gay, and many other social issues that I typically don't have with people. That if you bump into me and you want me to talk about that, if it doesn't relate to something I'm talking about on the platform, I'm typically not going to talk to you about it, right? So me and Katie and Kyle talking back when we did, she knows that what she's saying is bullshit. And instead of her looking at me and something I retweet or something that whatever, not even taking you'd think that you'd go by things that I comment out there on Twitter, you know, and then claim it, or you'd have a specific example. And this is the thing, it only comes out of Katie when she's angry, because she's angry. She's only throwing this stuff around because she's mad, because she thinks I reported her to YouTube, and she thinks that there will be a result from it and that it might affect her. And because of that, she's getting angry, and she's getting so angry that it's leading her to do this. So for the 80th time, I didn't report you to YouTube, Katie. Now, let's see, today's Monday. Yes. So I will be tagging Team YouTube again today, and because the last 2 days were the weekend, so there was no reason to do it on the weekend, of course, and I was busy anyway. But I will be tagging Team YouTube again today, and I will be doing it until I hear back from them in my DMs so that I can give them many things that I want to give them. I've decided, as you probably know if you've listened to any of my scopes or recent content, and I'll be handling this on YouTube tonight, I'm done giving people a chance when it comes to them acting like this. You get me? Like, I don't know what let me use Katie as an example. I don't know what her point is. Is her point that people who disagree with her on something should be banned or something like that, or should be taken off the platform or something? Because the thread on Twitter to Team YouTube had nothing to do with the BS that she decided to bring up there. And it really seems like she's injecting herself and making it about herself, which, by the way, is another reason so many people have an issue with Katie. Though, to keep going, step further on this, tagging Team YouTube had to do with a very extreme situation. Katie getting involved in it also, I believe it is because she doesn't want to see Team YouTube step up and punish people for doing what Molly and Lobsterman and these other two people have done. Because I think she knows that she's been so loose with other people's privacy, and yes, doxed people. In fact, I still have content on my platform on UniRock 2 that breaks down the issues every time that she was doing something where, you know, there was her sharing someone's name because she got mad at them, or putting out information about somebody because she was angry or something. Every time she's done that, because I was reporting on lawsuits she was involved in, I also covered that on the platform. Dear good Lord, because she covered that on the platform. Anyway, sorry, my phone likes making a bunch of beeps and stuff while I'm talking. So anyway, where was I going with this? Okay, so back to it. Tagging of Team YouTube. Anyone on YouTube should want this to happen with Team YouTube. Everybody out there should want this if they're on the platform, if they watch the platform, if they're in any communities. These people are literal stalkers. They are insiders. They literally make this stuff happen. If they aren't able to do this, by the way, I'm not saying by them being banned like Katie or others assume. Whatever it is that makes them stop doing this, whether it's their own choice, whether it's a strike on their channel, whether it's YouTube departnering them, or whatever it may be, whatever leads to them not doing this will make our platform a stable and better platform, so that people leaving comments feel more comfortable to share their opinion. People that live in the live chat are more comfortable to share their opinion. People are more comfortable to talk to each other about these things regardless of where it is, and more people are willing to upload content to the platform. These people are doing this specifically to gatekeep themselves as the people who get to profit and speak their mind, to influence you not to profit and speak your mind, to influence you to basically go away instead of criticizing them or staying in your community. And because of that, they are driving people away from the platform, but in the very least, the community at large. And we've all seen this happen repeatedly, over and over and over again. Now, for Katie or any of these other people out there, like Leslie Bass, the false striker, Molly Golightly, Katie now, Justin, these other people that have objected, and I mean certain caters and certain other members of the community. I could say Lobster Man, but just all of these people playing this game where they, for some reason, are going, we don't want Team YouTube looking into what's been going on around here. We don't want the persons and people doing this to be found out and to be banned or to be punished. We don't want this to be solved. They have exposed themselves as people either doing the same thing or people that are doing it themselves. Why did they not think before they opened their mouths to either meddle in this, to prevent this, or to complain about this, or to attack me over this, or whatever? Did they not think about this? All of them should be sitting there, regardless of what's going on, just to maintain appearances, for God's sakes. They should be sitting there going, yes, I want this to happen. I'm not the one doxing and inciting people to stalk, harass, and dox people. It's funny that they'll all sit there and lie about me in whatever way they do, whether it's the way Katie did, the way that others have. You know, Molly tried to say that I dox people. No, Uni's the one doing this stuff or whatever, right? All their little tactics that they use. It's funny. I'm the only one who wants Team YouTube to come in and actually look at everyone's channel and to be able to look at the evidence that's there and make up their mind on who's doing this. Why am I the one wanting that if I'm the big bad guy, right? Shouldn't they, if they aren't doing this, if they're the good guys they say they are? So what they're doing is that all of these specific people are basically saying, hey man, don't do this. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to be busted on this. We don't want YouTube finding out what we've been up to, right? Now even go a step further from there. Here we are now, and all of them are having mental breakdowns. All of them are attacking people like crazy. I remember I said that because I'm reporting Lobster Man, at first his minions are going to start attacking people. He's going to pick somebody to attack, most likely Katie. And then he's going to have his minions going around attacking and lying about me or anyone else in my community. By the way, all of this has happened. And all you got to do is look at Twitter to be able to see it. You'll be able to literally see that while they haven't done this in a while, it all started right when I filed the report. So that should say something, in my opinion. The thing that really matters, though, is that Leslie Leslie Bass, www.youtube.com/C/Leslie Bass, who, if you scroll down her channel, it'll say that her channel name is ElleBee, has been on this platform long enough now that she doesn't get, back in 2019 where everybody tried to give her a chance because she was a new YouTuber and maybe she just doesn't know what's going on and all this. Now we know we shouldn't have given her that, because back then she did it all on purpose. Ever since then, she did it all on purpose. And now she's doing it all on purpose. And there's a reason why she likes to team up with the certain people that she teams up with. It's not, they all know that Molly's doing this, and yet they all still went on her channel. They all still supported her. They all still gained from her. They all still, you know, made money off of her and subs and members and everything. But what happened the minute that it changed and Letitia and Molly were exposed for running a fraud raiser, and they were exposed for doxing people, all of a sudden, you notice, Leslie goes quiet, right? It was okay gaining it all then. But, you know, she's not going to go in and keep defending herself. It's because she knew the whole time what was going on. And she thinks that she can throw out this, I'm a mother and I have a bunch of kids and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Well, Leslie, the only reason you think that you're the only one who has kids and takes care of them and is a mother is because you lie about other people. I am a father. I have kids. I raised my kids. I live with my kids. I take care of my kids. So just because you go around lying about this, it doesn't mean that you're the only human being on. If that was true, the human race would die off like really quick. There wouldn't be anybody to watch your YouTube videos only after a short period of time if you were the only one who had kids. Anyway, they use this little fake-ass two-faced thing. I'm just a sweet, nice person. So anyone that would say anything critical of me is the bad guy. Bullshit. You are vindictive, Leslie, and mean and nasty. You don't care who you stomp on. You don't care who you try to hurt or harm. You don't care who you can file these false privacy strikes against me, and it's not going to have much of an effect. But if you were doing this to a smaller creator, for God's sake, it would have an effect. If you were doing it to a creator that didn't know how to handle this, it would have an effect. And so to see, and you know, you got to be careful, because when you're willing to abuse YouTube's systems for whatever reason, you're eventually going to have problems from that. That's me giving you good advice again, regardless of the fact that you're false privacy striking me, lying about me, attacking me, doxing me, and doing all this other crazy shit. It just never stops with you guys. You never learn, right? This is the first time I've reported you and your friends to Team YouTube. This is the first time you realize. You can scroll my Twitter and look, right? You realize this. And peeps, that is why they're having a panic attack. They've all gotten so comfortable with me not acting and just uploading a video, they feel invincible. They truly do. They never thought that it would get to a point where I would actually tag Team YouTube and file a report with them. They never thought that it would go that far. They should have. They were the ones pushing it that far. They were the ones doing this to people. They were the ones gatekeeping. They were the ones doxing, harassing, threatening, fraud raising, doing all the crazy stuff we've seen this entire group of people do for so long. It's no coincidence that they team up with the Lobster Man while he's doing several fraud raisers, while he is doxing, creating fake screenshots, lying, and they all team up with him until he's exposed, and he looks just he's like the literal scare away subscribers if you're allied with this man. So what does Leslie do? Run off and hide her head in the sand. Hey, I don't know who Steve McRae is. Whoa. Then you've got so many other examples I can give between then and now. But up until the Molly thing, it never really blew up again. And now that it's blown up again, just like she did in the beginning, by throwing the lobster under the ocean, she's now throwing Molly under the bus because she expects to just move on, do her normal thing, and that everything's going to be fine. In my opinion, YouTube should fully audit every creator in this community, but they're not going to be able to because it's unrealistic. So they're going to have to audit the creators where there is evidence that those creators have done things that are against TOS over and over and over again. One thing I've always said about YouTube was that while they do make mistakes a lot, they also try to give people a chance. And this is across the board. This is from the Fortnite community to the Call of Duty community, over to other communities, to commentary communities. The only time they really don't is in political communities, and it's why so many people steer clear of those communities. But anyway, YouTube will give people a lot of chances. It's why these people have felt so brazen and upfront in what they do. And, you know, I don't know why these guys will literally be shown the terms of service of YouTube, be shown hundreds and hundreds of examples of people being banned for less than what they are doing. And then they keep going and they keep going and they keep going. And instead of them, you know, basically being like, no, I think Uni's doing a good thing, you know? If you're telling the truth, then you having these clips turned into YouTube shouldn't bother you at all if you're telling the truth. Remember, your public-facing face is what? You didn't do anything wrong. You're right. You know, all that stuff, right? That's your public-facing face. So why are you so quick now in the last few days since I tag team YouTube and had this all prepared to go? Why is it that you've witnessed each of these people have full nuclear meltdowns and just go off in insane ways? You know, it was like they just started to panic, and they would just take, it was like they had spaghetti and they were just throwing it at the wall and seeing what would stick, right? At first it's this, next it's that, and next it's that, and next it's that. And then everyone in our community says the same thing every time they do it. We all say, that has nothing to do with this. And we're not stopping until Team YouTube's involved. And they get angrier every time. Every time they get angrier. Every time they lose their mind more and more and more, right? And this is where I slow you guys down and I say, what would they be saying if they were telling the truth? Wouldn't they be saying the same thing that I'm saying? Which is, my content speaks for itself. It's all there. It's all ready for anyone to look through it. It hasn't been deleted. It's just sitting there chilling, right? And you'd think that that would be Leslie's response. If Leslie just went and hung out with Molly and she kind of like turned her head or muted her mic when at the exact time that Molly was doxing and harassing and lying and framing Dre as a murderer and all this stuff, and she didn't hear any of that, wouldn't she be sitting there going, yeah, I'm good, instead of literally like screaming at the top of her lungs, flailing her hands in the air, flipping her hair in circles until the minute that she goes live, and then she sits there all frazzled and goes, hey guys, I'm having a great day. You know what I'm saying? And then the minute she ends the stream, all of a sudden she's screaming at the top of her lungs and her hands are flailing in the air and her hair's flipping around again, right? They just can't hide how insane this is driving them. And this is what they want. I'll tell you what they want right here. I'll close this off. I'll tell you what they want. After I tell you how to support me, paypal.me/UniRock, following, son of a bitch, this thing, following and subscribing and stuff and things. And all of that you'll find ways to do on my Twitter feed and my YouTube channel. You know how to do it if you want to do it. Okay. So, moving forward, not back, forward, not back. The last thing, basically, and I just lost my train of thought because every time my phone does that, I lose my train of thought. So give me a second. Caffeine. In the end of this, what matters is that these communities aren't the ones that are just affected by this. It's also the entire YouTube community. People who have gone and maybe said, there you go, Twitter. People that have given their opinion in any way, honestly. If you give an honest opinion, if you're not willing to lie for these people, if you're not willing to sit and ignore the evidence, if you're not willing to, if you actually open your eyes and fact check it, which is what any normal person would do, any honest person would fact check it and then give an opinion. Every single one of those people are in fear if they give an opinion. Then they're in fear if they decide to even leave the community, go somewhere else, and do other things, because they still get targeted, because they're still a threat. Now, okay, I remember what I was going to say. You have to stop yourself every time people are acting the way they are, and every reaction that they give when they react. So when they react, what's the next thing that they all did after I tagged Team YouTube? What is the next thing they did? And you can go through each of them and look. So let's just do it. Molly starts to uber dox and lie about me and vet bash me massively. That was my last stream, right? Showing you that. And then ElleBee did the same thing. Lobster Man and his minions did the same thing, right? So the two people that are at the top of the report, and ElleBee, I guess, believes that she's in the report. She's in it. She's just not, like, you know, the focus of it. Other than now that the vet bashing happened, she was added. But the point is, ElleBee is added. So what all these people go on a super doxing, threatening spree against me right after I filed the report. This is factual. You all have seen this. You can literally go out and look at this. They all went on this big lie fest, dox fest, threat fest. Just, they all lost their shit against me. It was their next action after I filed the report, after I tagged Team YouTube. So you have to ask yourself why. So let's do it real quick. Let's do it. What would be a normal reaction if you did nothing wrong, finding out that I tagged Team YouTube and I drew up a report where I pulled clips and showed YouTube what was going on? Anyone that didn't do anything wrong would just say good and move on with their content. I know I made this point earlier, but this is, you know, you have to do this. You have to ask yourself this, though. Why is it that instead of, like, not flipping out and wasting days of their time going batshit crazy like they did, why didn't they just say, good, I support this happening. I want the audience to be safe. I want the community to be a community where anyone out there, regardless if they feel that it's a fraud raiser or it's not, regardless if they feel that they're either going to get up there and be pro ElleBee, Leslie Bass, Letitia Bias, and Molly, or whether they're going to speak up against them. Why, you know, regardless of what the opinion is going to be of people, they should be able to get up there and give their opinion. They should be able to speak their mind. And they can't, because of the same thing that they've done to me, where instead of saying, good, I'm glad these people are giving their opinion, they say, oh shit, no. If anyone looks at the evidence, they're going to be against us. They're going to be criticizing us. So we need to do things. We need to take steps. This is Molly and Leslie and Letitia and the rest of them. We need to take steps to dissuade people from getting up there and speaking their opinion. There's no coincidence that they did that. They did do that. That's what the threats are. That's what the dox is. That's why you've got so many examples of Molly holding up people's pictures, holding up their houses, literally threatening them, saying, I know where you live, and all this garbage. And this is why you have Leslie Bass and these other creators supporting Molly, like even Charlotte supporting Molly while Molly's doing this, right? Because while they support Molly, they don't have to worry. They get the same protection that Molly's getting for herself in doing this. They get to be put on the list of the good guys, the Molly Golightly good guys, because they're allied with Molly. So they're not going to be targeted by Molly. And then on top of that, they now get to act however they want. And if anybody goes against them, then they now have Molly and their little clan to go out and silence people and take away criticism. And yeah, Leslie, Charlotte, Molly, they hate criticism. This is just factual. You can literally go back and look at this. You know, I know it's not easy to be criticized, okay? I mean, okay, it's kind of like hypocritical for me to say that, because for me it is. I mean, you look at all the people that are out there criticizing me, for fuck's sake. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking time someone talks, you know, even if they're like on our side, they criticize. Though it is hypocritical for me to say that, because I love those discussions. That's literally what me and Navy do every time we talk. It's one of the main reasons why he comes on my show still constantly. So we can disagree, argue, and fight and stuff. Not all the time, of course, but about, you know, most subjects that we go around on. The point is, I know, though, that it is hard for some people not to be criticized. Maybe it's once you've been having it happen on YouTube for a while, you get desensitized to it or whatever. But the point is that they all have an opposition to it. They definitely get upset. They get angry. They take it personally. They get mad. And I do think it does lead to the knee-jerk doxing, knee-jerk gatekeeping, knee-jerk threats, knee-jerk other reactions that we constantly see in the community. And that is why they are afraid of this report. They're afraid of YouTube getting involved and actually spending 10 minutes of YouTube's time looking at what's been happening, because YouTube will be forced to act, or they're going to be forced, not by me, by the way, by the community at large, to have to admit that the communities are unsafe. The creators who live and die by the threats and the doxes and the death threats and targeting and stalking and attacking people's families, YouTube's going to have to admit that they themselves allow it, and that their TOS needs to be edited to say that you can do this stuff if they don't act, because these people are the top example of people that either, like in Molly's case, do this constantly, or like in Leslie's case, she will say, I'm not doing that stuff. I'm just going on channels and supporting people that are the worst people that do this on the platform. And my point is, you know, what the difference between the people out there that live and die by the docs and the people out there who aren't utter lolcow cringe lords, the difference there is that we all know that we don't have to look up anything about your private life, because everything that we're going to need is is what you've posted publicly. It's the only thing we need. We are not here to give commentary on what you do in private. I'm not here to give commentary on your private life. I'm here to give commentary on what you decide to post publicly. And this is why by doing that, we protect people who want their privacy. If you choose to get on your stream and talk about, I don't know, like all of your private life and stuff like that, that isn't private anymore, right? That is your content. And the choice has been given to you. Though someone else who wants to get up there and talk about Nick Rakita and give an opinion on Nick Rakita, never bringing up anything about themselves, they should never have their personal information and all that stuff be attacked and dug through. And, you know, it's like when you hear Molly say, we're going to dig and dig and dig on Dre McCrae. She definitely means that she's going to dig up every bit of private stuff that she can find on Dre, which is doxing. But if she's saying that we're going to grab the public stuff that's out there and not use it in a non-malicious way, in a way to criticize and commentate, then she's not. And they want to complicate the issue. It's ridiculous to let them complicate the doxing issue any longer. It is so obliviously obvious what doxing is and what it isn't. I'll give you an example. Claire Bear's out there saying that because I will say that the With Balls account is Claire Bear, that I'm doxing her. And the reason that everyone in the community knows that With Balls is Claire Bear is because she posted a screen cap where she was logged in to the Claire Bear account, and because she had just accidentally grabbed part of the screen that showed that she was Claire Bear, and then she deleted it. Luckily, a couple people have the screenshot of that. Now, she'll stomp around and accuse people of doxing constantly, while herself being a vicious, vile doxer. That's why. That is why they do this. This is why they put up the big objection to what doxing is. It's why the Lobster, it's why Molly's doing it, it's why ElleBee has such a hard time, it's why Charlotte's supporting Molly. It's like, especially after everything Charlotte went through in having people do it to her, you'd think she wouldn't be sitting there supporting someone as bad as Molly. By the way, has any of them pulled up the video from UniRock 2, reacted to it yet, and described any of the clips I put in that video and broken down how Molly isn't a doxer, a harasser, a stalker, and how it's not disgusting to be supporting Molly right now while she's doing this stuff? Has any of them addressed the actual evidence at all? No, because it's part of their tactic. And if I keep talking about their tactics, here in a few months, I'm going to have to do the exact same scope, the exact same video, the exact same content, where I talk to you guys and give you the same breakdown, but I'm just replacing a couple of the names, replacing a couple of the instances of what happened, but still giving the same meat to every single presentation. Because literally, they are now existing on the fact that we as a community will not put our foot down and say, you guys know what doxing is. You guys know what a fraud raiser is. You guys aren't elementary schoolers. You guys aren't as dumb as you're portraying yourself to be. Only when you get busted, okay? You guys know what this shit is, and you're playing this game, and you're just gonna do it again. It is time that we put our fucking foot down. It is time, because we as a community could rise up. We could do what Nate and Rakita and LawTube has done. And I'm not saying that we'll blow up as big as them. I'm saying we can entertain the living fuck out of hundreds of thousands of people. It's just a fact. And the only thing that's keeping us down is that we've been trying to hold on to this community. We've been trying to get this community to get their shit together. We've been trying to get this community to wake the fuck up and stop doing this. You know what? It's time to stop. It's time to stop. I want to be able to play the meme. It's time to stop. It's time to only, every time these guys try this, just to laugh at them and just drop it on their heads and move on. It's time to just be done with it, because as desperately as people want ElleBee to grow up and stop doing this, she's never going to. She's always going to be wearing two faces. That nice face where she's streaming and she's trying to act like she cares about people, but then the truth is always going to be there. She doesn't respect anybody. She's okay with you all being threatened and doxxed and harassed to all hell as long as she's cashing a paycheck. Her support of Molly, her actions, her false strikes, her bullshit, all proves it. Remember how much it affected her channel because Katie filed a false strike at her channel, until I came out and proved, with Nate's help before his channel blew up, that it was a fake email. There was no strike, and she framed Katie. She doesn't respect false strikes, and her filing this fake privacy strike proves it. Move over, slide over to Charlotte. Remember when Charlotte cried on her stream because she was doxxed, and something from her past that shouldn't have been brought up was thrown in her face, and everybody in the community rose to her defense and told her, we're going to support you regardless that they did this to you, because it was wrong for them to do this, right? Well, now look at her championing Molly Golightly, supporting her, not being willing. She'll comment, she'll come at me, she'll say I'm doing something wrong in commentating on Letitia and Molly, but she won't show the proof and the evidence that shows that Letitia and Molly stole that money, doxed people that asked for refunds, and literally sent threats and harassed people and did all that. I'm sorry, but that is them. That is Charlotte, not only showing that she really wasn't telling the truth when she was given those crocodile tears long ago, but also it shows that Charlotte vehemently supports what Molly's doing. She's choosing to basically defend Molly, champion Molly, and go at one of Molly's criticizers, literally just because I think it's the Katie thing, but there could be a lot of factors. Charlotte could just be dangling the Katie thing as the excuse, and we would never know. I don't know what the real thing is there. I don't know what, maybe she's looking at what Molly did for ElleBee, and she's saying, ooh, I can have that too. I need to get on Molly's good side. Who knows? It's another factor of why these people are so dangerous, because they will have other content creators that sit there and throw criticisms at everyone else like they constantly do for any tiny thing. Oh my God, I can't believe you went and talked to Molly Golightly. Well, here's 10 videos where Molly's doxing the fuck out of people and threatening people, and they never make a comment about it on their channel, right? They never call Molly out for it. But somehow it was atrocious that I went and talked to her. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's all an act. And you guys are the puppets. They want to be your master, your puppet master. They want the strings attached to you. And the thing is, the only way they get those strings attached to you is if you yourself buy their bullshit, click their drama, instead of laughing at it and fucking calling it out and then moving on. So if anyone that wants to remain the puppet master for these, or the puppets for these people, you're more than welcome to. I myself, though, just feel that this report to YouTube and the number one should be a thing that lots of content creators get behind. And if you want to help out, tell your audience to tag Team YouTube underneath my tweet and let them know that we need an actual human being from Team YouTube to come in and talk to me and get my report. And regardless of who helps me, all that'll do is make it happen quicker. It will happen. It'll just take longer if no one does. But we need to motivate people to do that so that we can get Team YouTube in here now. Because in between now and in between a week from now or 3 weeks from now, whenever they get back to me, Molly and the people supporting her are going to do this to more people. It's inevitable. They've done it to so many in between when we started doing the report to now that I don't even think I have all of them included. They dox, then they delete the video. So then we have to go out and try to find people that have screen recorded it, or other creators that might have like grabbed a clip of it, and we have to try to get that. We got to try to get the link to the original video and the date and the time, and a lot of times it falls through the cracks. They're so prolific. And another thing is, the people supporting Molly, another huge criticism against them, Molly wouldn't be as prolific at this if it wasn't just me and a few other people calling Molly out. If the people supporting Molly instead were telling the truth about Molly's doxing on their channels, like Charlotte, like ElleBee, like all the other ones, whoever hasn't done it. Like, I'm not saying Down the Rabbit Hole News has or hasn't, but if they haven't done a video blasting Molly for being a vicious doxer, then yes, they are literally helping Molly keep doing this. You know? It just goes so far outside the spectrum that it's not that she did it a couple times. She does it every other day, every 3 days, or even every day. There have been back-to-back days. She's had literal dox streaks that go on for days and days and days. And this isn't some secret. Everyone knows it. And I get it. Lots of people are scared. So they want to keep uploading. They want to be a part of this community because they can get views to being a part of the community. But they know that if they do tell the truth, if they do put focus where it needs to be, they're going to be attacked by Molly next. So Letitia, where's she at? Since Molly and ElleBee and all these people want to scream for attention so hard, where's Letitia? What's she doing? Well, she has disappeared again from the internet. If she pops up, it's only to, like I showed you in that last example where she was cursing out all of the people that gave her hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars each, to where she took in thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars, cussing them out, talking about how degenerate those people are. Molly was too. You know what's funny? You know, you'd think that even if you don't want to call out Molly's doxing, listen to this shit. Molly wants you to donate money to her and Letitia, and the whole time you guys are the kindest, gentlest, nicest people that have ever existed. The minute someone says, hey, you said you'd give proof, where is it? You all became degenerates. Anyone that gave her money became degenerates. You guys became the worst people in the world. Charity, it's a donation. You don't ask for a donation back from some grieving person. You know? Immediately, you became the worst people in the world. And why am I saying this? Because even if you're not going to call her out for doxing, where are all these people that talked about Letitia, discussing how Letitia and Molly changed their perception? The same people that gave a $1,000 donation, the minute that they politely asked for evidence, were literally the worst degenerates on the planet. You could at least call that out, couldn't you? And I'm speaking to a few specific creators. It's no one that I'm around, of course. I think I've talked to one of them like one time, but it's copy paste. If I go into another community and people bring me another fraud raiser, it'll probably get 5 times the views than this stupid situation's gotten. It'll probably be 5 times as big in all respects, and every single development will happen the exact same way from their side. It will always happen, because these are not independent actions that are taken with no intent. They're not actions taken with no decision making or thought behind it. They are very well thought out actions. They are very well thought out intentional actions. Every person who gets in the situation that we've seen Letitia and Molly and these other people in, they all act the same way at every single developing part of a story, because it's the only thing to defend them. It's the only way to defend themselves. That is true. You defend yourself when people ask for refunds by doing what they did. Most people just do it way behind the scenes a lot more. Back when Steve used to do it, Red's Rhetoric did it all the time. Cheshire did it all the time. You know, Sean and them, they were doing it behind the scenes to hide it, knowing they could get banned for it. Which is funny, because these guys had hardly any subs and they were trying to protect their channels. Molly doesn't care. You know? Cecil McFly needs to make a video on Molly. I don't know what else to say, y'all, other than I'll see you on the stream tonight. If you want to prove that I'm the biggest grifter in the world, the way you do it is paypal.me/UniRock. Oh, I know, donating to a show that you like. That's some grifting right there from that. Taking super chats and PayPal donations. Did you know that that's hardcore grifting? LB must look in the mirror and call herself a grifter every day, because she was saying how I was such her and well, who was it? Renell. Genius commentary. They have super chats turned on. They got Patreons and PayPal's advertised, and somehow me having those links makes me an Uber grifter. Well, prove them right at paypal.me/UniRock. I mean, it's too easy. This is all too easy. There's no challenge. There's no challenge in this. There's no way to lose outside of us joining forces with these people. There's no way. There isn't even any necessary commentary. You know, at what point do we keep busting fraud raisers when it's so hard for people out there to join together and state that enough is enough, right? And I'm not criticizing our community, because we've done it. We've been pushing for it. I'm talking about the creators outside of our community. People from those own. You think the people in the one thing that I think is interesting, and yeah, a lot of the creators from their community that have thanked us or helped us out in trying to get to the bottom of all this and get this fixed, they now have been exiled from that community. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that are still supporting Molly, still pretending that none of this is happening, still existing in the true crime community without opening their mouth about this, without opening their mouth about Molly, without opening their mouth about any of the doxing and the fraud raising going on. You know, why not just let them fraud raise if it's going to be this way, right? I'm serious. Why not from our, not YouTube, not the Popo, I'm talking about us. If it's going to be this way, why not just let them do it? Why not just sit there and go, oh, look, there's another one. There's another person that died. Oh, it's a kid this time. Oh, yep, they're raising money for the kid, even though they're not related whatsoever. This is completely wrong. They're taking the money into their own bank accounts again. Oh, that's right. I'm a bad guy just for literally stating that they're doing this, you know? Jesus Christ. And again, I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to the people in the communities, the people outside of our community. Our community, all of us have stood up. All of us have put it out there, you know? People will, it really shows you how evil and nasty some people are. They'll put petty drama and they'll put YouTube beef and bullshit like that ahead of banding together. We won't have a platform that any of us have any form of choice in our content if this keeps up. I'm going to tell you now. And I've been here watching the rules tighten and the communities decimated. And yeah, a good 10th of those communities that have been decimated over the last 10 years on YouTube. So yeah, a good 10th of them, a good 1/8 of them deserved it. But there is such a toll every time. And the reason is just the same argument I made in 2018. I sat there and I told them all, if you keep making these conspiracy theories and you keep pushing them and you keep repeating them and you don't expose the truth of who's behind it and what it really is, money making on YouTube, lies for money on YouTube, YouTube is going to come in and take away your ability to speak about any of these topics. It's the only power that they ever really have. The next thing will be YouTubers are not allowed to cover true crime that involves children, that involves this. The only trusted sources can report on murder and disappearances and these things. It will eventually go there. And then people will be calling back to this stream and they'll be saying, yo, Uni told you this shit years ago and nobody listened. People think that it takes years for things to happen equates to us not being right. They tried to say that with all that QAnon and conspiracy bullshit. Well, Uni said that years before it happened, so he wasn't right. Like, YouTube doesn't literally have to spend... YouTube waits until it hits the absolute breaking point of shit before they step in. They have to. They've got important shit going on, so it has to become an important thing before they'll step in. And then it takes them a year, 2 years to even get anything done, because they have so many legal barriers, legal hurdles they have to jump over. They got to cross their I's, they got to dot their T's, as I always say, in order to be able to do anything, so that they don't get sued, so that they don't make a mistake, so that they don't get, you know, legally destroyed. They have to be able to prove that what they did was worth it, and that they're not just taking away and discriminating and doing all these things. I used to cover the news and was one of the most successful creators on the platform at that time doing it. And YouTube made a change to where we couldn't cover the news anymore without being taken out of the algorithm and having the verified news put ahead of us, no matter how many times we were right, no matter how careful we were, no matter how honest we were. That's a fact. It happened. It will happen to more and more communities. It will be the communities that discuss human tragedy. We already can't talk about earthquakes. We already can't talk about floods. We already can't talk about tornadoes. We already can't talk about any of that without being downranked to all hell in the algorithm with 10,000 news sources above us. It's just a fact. It didn't used to be that way. The reason that those things are that way, those communities are the ones that had to be changed. There's a reason they had to be changed instead of another community being changed. It's because those communities had droves of creators lying, clickbaiting, and bullshitting, and just flat out conning people to make money in such a huge... For every one of us that did it the right way, there was 5,000 other creators that clickbaited and lied. And it made it worth it to just stop us all. This shit's gonna be next. Eventually, it'll be commentary about other YouTubers. Well, every time that a person steps up and shows that that YouTuber's doxing people, more people get doxed. We've got to stop people that talk about other people on YouTube so that we don't have this problem anymore. Well, that's a lot of channels. Yeah, but we'll still have enough money in people playing video games, Fortnite, and watching Marvel breakdowns. Yeah, you're right. No, I'm exaggerating. I don't think they're ever going to ban commentary. They will ban sectors of it. They will ban chunks of content. And we are seeing epidemic levels. The FBI is going to come in and say, YouTube, you need to fix up your system. We are sick and tired of having to investigate constant fraud on your platform with charity fraud. And and the very least, I guarantee you, in the very least, they're going to come in and they're going to force you to be the only way you can run a fundraiser on the platform is if it's through YouTube's system. They're going to do that at some point too. That'll be a prediction that becomes fulfilled that I'll be right about in a few years. 3, 4, 5 years. Because the true pandemic out there is charity fraud. Literally either taking an issue. Well, let's say you're a hoarder and you smoke cigarettes, you chain smoke cigarettes in your hoarding house. All these stacks of newspapers, paper, plastic, and trash laying around. But you also like to fall asleep while you're smoking in your chair next to the big stacks of newspapers. And let's say there's a small fire that ends up burning the front room out, that you end up running out and being taken to the hospital and minorly treated for a little bit of smoke inhalation. We already know that we've seen a $100,000 fraud raiser where that fire had an explosion that knocked them clear across the house and they were in the ICU and that they've lost everything and the house they owned and all this. They lost all their expensive stuff when in reality, they had no expensive stuff. There was no explosion. There was no ICU. There was no... It was all a lie. It wasn't their home. They were renting. They didn't need more than a couple $1,000 because there were already assistance given to them, and they walked away from YouTube with $100,000. That wasn't even recent. That's not even a recent fraud raiser. It's an epidemic. The ones we cover, for every fraud raiser I cover, I turn down covering 20 others. I was brought Molly Golightly fraud raisers years ago. What do? I'm going to tell you. You go to Team YouTube. You give them your report. If they do something, thank God. But if they don't, I'm just going to have to play video games and make memes again. Because I got 100 times, and I'm not bullshitting, if not 1,000 times the views doing that. Fact check me. Go see. Am I really out here doing this for the views? Go look and see if I got more views doing anything else.